evening, everybody. This is Carl Munson with the Expat Man Cave, and it just suddenly occurred to me that my oppos may not be with me tonight because I didn't send them the. I thought I was way ahead of this, and that I'd sent them the link to join me here on the screen. But it might be that I haven't done that. So let me just go to Signal now and make sure that Frank and Gary have the right invitation for this evening. That's a bit remiss of me. To not to have done that. Joel will be joining me soon, though, because I think he'll have the link now, which is in the comments, and that applies to anybody else who might want to join us on the screen tonight. How exciting is that? You're very welcome. I think we're only going to go through till midnight tonight, whereupon we will be having an indie disco. So let me just share this link with my Man Cave buddies. I think we're probably best doing that on Facebook. How are you all doing? Do let us know what you're drinking tonight, what sort of week you've had. Gary, of course, last week, the only difference in his week was that he had a different kind of window, a different kind of leaf floating past his window. Have you had anything more exciting happen to you this week than different sorts of leaves flying past your window? Let's find out from Joel now. How are you, my friend?
Boa noite.
Boa noite, tudo bem? Como estás?
Yeah, so.
So. You're looking very Star Trek tonight. I like that blue jersey.
It's just a jumper.
Okay, and the ceiling tiles add to this sort of infinity effect of you coming out of the back of the screen and being beamed up in the front of the screen.
Well, when my parents decide to make construction in the house they have, because not all of us can afford to have a proper house, unfortunately. So most of the construction of my house was made by me helping my grandfather.
Wow.
Basically, so the walls are a little bit paper thin, and the ceiling back then we used to have what we call the fibrocement, which is a tile that has a mix with some cancerous stuff like before, like they use on firemen, those retardant revestments. So
I
we
see. You got that going.
we did a little bit of an upgrade to the house, so no longer have that tile above my head, and this looks like a office, but actually it is a home. So was the cheapest solution we had back then.
Mate, you
Not
can make a fortune. Now you and your granddad know how to do a suspended ceiling. You can make a fortune doing that sort of thing as a contract.
we didn't do the ceiling. The ceiling was made outside.
Oh, okay.
It was a contract.
You are getting a bonnoit already from Pete. Pete Bleach is here tonight as well.
Yeah.
Hope it's warmer for you this week, mate. It does look like you're a bit warmer, only sort of 3 or 4 layers
Yeah,
on.
no, it's it can. It's bearable.
It's terrible. What, really cold still
Terrible.
in Portugal? Okay. Sorry to hear
Yeah.
that, mate. Okay. You're saying it in a very matter of fact way. Yes, terrible. Bonnoit, sorry, not done my since you've been gone yet. We do have the rainbow of the children, as you can see behind me, rainbow theme. And Douglas sent in his impersonations of George Zippy and Bungle, which we might play again tonight. But I thought I would honour that. So don't worry, Doc. But after you have a couple of disco juices, you might feel like coming in and singing to us. Up to you. Be lovely if you want to. Frank is just having a wee or pouring a drink. Andy, you must be chilled to the bone, being in Brum. Look at it.
Absolutely.
Being in Brum. How is it over there? Drinking French lager after a pizza. Snow tomorrow. Still researching smuggling paths into Portugal. For you.
Maybe up north. Usually in the north part of Portugal, there was some trafficking routes, a little bit like there is in North America and Mexico.
Oh, through the mountains in Majuresh.
Yeah, a little bit shady.
Okay, and there might be a
Back
few
then.
bays on the Costa Verde. It's a bit quieter up there. Coming on a boat on the Costa. Not that we encourage or endorse that sort of terrible behaviour. Just talking about that technically
No,
speaking.
the thing is now with this third lockdown, the borders will be closed again,
Yeah,
even
indeed.
between Portugal and Spain. So apparently that's what I brazed over the news.
Yeah. Well, Frank is raising a glass to that. He's not having any Spaniards bringing in viruses. Good evening to you, Persian Frank in Coimbra tonight. How are you?
I am doing fine. How about you guys? I see the evening started very brisk and fast and beautifully. What's going on, boys? Who's drinking what?
Uh,
Did we go over that part?
No, I'm just drinking water as usual.
Are
well,
you? But you are drinking Porto water. That has some value. That Porto
does
water
it?
is special, no?
No, not really. It's
I
just
think
O2,
it's
nothing
got a,
special.
yeah. You might have some of the old Matosinhos water there with a bit of Repsol petrol in it
No,
or
no, no,
something.
no, 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 no,
Okay,
no, no, no,
nothing like that.
no,
All right.
no.
Bonne nuit from the
Now,
face.
if they decided to start collecting water from the nearest river where I live in, I don't advise it, even if it goes
Okay.
for a treatment, if it goes through a treatment plant. It's so this was back in the 1990s. They started saying that they were addressing the pollution on the river near my house, which is Rio Lessa, which is
Okay.
Lessa River. And so far, we are in 2021, and the river stays the same level of pollution. So that river, if you
Here's to
Terrible.
pollution.
look at the river, that it doesn't look like a river. It looks like a like how will I say it, an oiled river, like proper grease, black, thick. So
Nasty. Well,
Wow.
well, welcome to the Expat Man Cave, a spin-off of the Good Morning Portugal show, where we talk about the wonders of Portugal, including the amount of pollution in.
not many wonders about pollution
Car-
there.
Carl, where's the Garvo?
I don't know. I fear he might still be looking for the link. You know how
No,
we.
I fear he's finishing up his shower.
Oh,
This is
okay. He's having.
right before the show. I
He's
was
having his.
very interested in what you had put as our not our topic, but just kind of soft thing to talk about with the nice zipper around your face. I really love that. So
Did it remind you
I've
of your outfits?
yes, it did. It was like, but there wasn't much leather, and it actually didn't.
Not enough
But
leather.
since it's yours, it probably smells like leather.
Okay. What Frank's referring to there was a possible talking point tonight. I mean, I was looking, just sat there as you might be, having a breather, thinking, what's going on in the world? We've got at the nation state, and obviously even at local government level. At local government level, I've got people taping up benches so people can't sit on them. I understand why. At government level, you've got what Joel's talking about there: borders closing. We've been reported as being the worst country in the world for mortality and cases and all sorts. Portugal the worst. It's your turn to be the worst.
Very unfortunate.
And then we go on. We're locked down, so we go on social media, and an elder like Gary is being schooled by a millennial fact checker for saying a humorous thing. So, like on the one hand, you've got national government telling you what to do. You can't go out. Then you've got these kids telling old men what they can and can't say on social media. So the question that came up was like, what is it to be a man in 2021? Joel, what's your answer to that?
My answer is kids need to learn that adults also. There are 2 points to this story. Point number
Yeah.
one: adults tend to have more experience in life and maybe not on the proper actual present situation, but growing up we learn a lot of things. We learn how to and the our ways regarding equality, for example, racial things or slurs or wherever, tends to be a generational thing. Of course, these new kids on the block, so to speak, tend to be more open, tend to be more aggressive with their points of view. Not so much when we were people my age. This is talking about myself. There are, of course, those that go for more radical views, but the thing is, if we're going to talk about millennials, they are not like the older people. For example, I have health issues that not easy convey, or younger people may not have the same problems as I did, because the requirements for their jobs are much easier, so to speak. They are more mental and more stressful. Of course, hard labor, like I did many years, tends to be a trade in degradation. So it tends to be, for example, construction workers, men that work with wood, carpenters, um, and so on. Those traditional working environments tend to be lost because modernization, equipment, and kids these days, millennials. If you go to a school or a high school or even a primary school and ask them, "What do you want to be?" I want to be a YouTuber. That doesn't make any sense. There is a profitability, of course, on being on YouTube and so forth, but there's one thing about being a YouTuber, for example. There will be a point where you can no longer. There will be a point of I don't know how to convey this in English, so sorry because of that. There will be a point of saturation. There will be various themes, whether it be cars, discussing politics, discussing movies, or everything else. Then YouTube, for example, will be so filled with many content creators trying to convey their ideas that most of them will conjoin, and not everyone will be successful.
Indeed. But what I'm talking about is not those guys. Not. I mean, I'm all for the people being creative on social media and
Yeah,
having a
yeah,
go.
I don't have any problems with that.
Yeah,
I'm just
it's
people
these
need to find people need to find ways.
Here's the thing, Carl. What I think is in our society, the society has become violent in a way where expression is basically has become a way of being violent online. You see people ganging up on each other, and this comes from what I guess these millennial punks are watching these days
No,
on their
I can give
internet,
you.
on their television, the video games they're playing. This is basically what's going
No,
on.
wait. First of all, I do not believe that video games are a method for people to get angry or get frustrated or being
So
aggressive.
Joel,
I
you're
do
telling me
not because
full on
wait,
battle when
this
you
is my
play
opinion.
machine gun. Okay, go ahead.
Because if you're going to talk like that, I play video games where you are constantly killing people, or
Mm-hmm.
even if it's not a first-person shooter, you are
What?
driving a tank and you are shooting other tanks that you know
Yep.
there are other players playing.
You didn't
That
mention
doesn't
that.
mean, yeah, I will go to the street, I will pick up a gun and start shooting people. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Sorry, you're starting cursing.
But Joel, there's an age difference, right? The people, we're talking about millennials and you.
Yeah,
There's
but
an age
wait,
difference
wait, Frank.
between them,
Let
right?
me say this. When I was raising up, and this is probably most of us, we have, for example, cartoons where aggression was a thing, but you didn't see blood. But you see, for example, you had Calamity Coyote with Beep Beep. You had yeah, you had Bugs Bunny. You have
Did you say big dick?
Tom and
All right. Okay.
Jerry.
Good.
You have many other cartoons that were aggressive. You have
All right.
He-Man, She-Ra, you have Thundercats, you have what else? Missing a couple. Rangers, Power Rangers, and everything else. They were tended to be a very aggressive cartoons, but that doesn't imply that I will be an aggressive person because the education to
That's the
me
same.
personally, the education from my generation to the generation after mine is the one where the gap and the contact of reality to distinguish between reality and fantasy and aggression and how to behave is where it was lost. Personally,
Okay.
just this is just personally.
Yeah.
But where I see
If I can finish my point, what I was basically trying to say is what's happening is our society overall has become a very violent society. If you look in one of the boxes towards the left, you will see a result of violence. What's happening in our society is something that has been perpetuated, I believe, for a reason. I was reading an article the other day about this new HBO show that's coming up. It's called The Investigation. A few years back, a Swedish journalist was killed. I don't know if you guys remember. A Swedish journalist was killed in a submarine, man-made submarine. She went in there to interview someone and she got killed, and it was very gruesome. The crime itself was very gruesome. And the Nordic media really picked it up, and what they did is they really glorified the violence of the perpetrator and everything else. There was more infatuation with the person who committed the crime than the actual victim. The article is about this HBO series, 6-part series, which is coming up next week. And this particular series goes on. The writer and director has made this series specifically about this crime, but he's done it in a different way. What he has done is he never for a second mentions the perpetrator, and he instead focuses on the family and the divers who went on and solved this entire thing. So what I'm saying is our society is violent, and somebody we should have more shows like this. We should have more information out there which minimizes violence. Speaking of violence, how you doing, Eugene?
Let's unmute him quickly. How you doing, mate? Lovely to see you. And to Garva, we haven't heard. Okay, so I think what we need to do here tonight, I'm going to introduce something. We're going to have a disco at midnight, all right? And so I know some of you aren't up for that necessarily, but some of the ladies definitely want a disco, and we're having an indie disco at midnight. So we do cut off. Whatever happens, we cut off at midnight. Last week, we got into a terrible pickle because there were so many fantastic comments, and us lot were just liking the sounds of our own voices. We should introduce a horn technique, I think, which if we see horn in the comments like 2 or 3 times while somebody's talking, it's time to move on. And I will reiterate and underline what they're saying with one of these, which will mean like, hurry up, finish your point. Well, if we're doing that, hit the comment, and because there's a lot of us here now, and we all need to be heard. And I know that kind of runs counter to an easygoing night down the pub, having a chat. Point succinctly and quickly, and I encourage you in the comments to put hashtag horn or something like that. And that would put horn or some sort of emoji representing a horn in the comments, and that will mean it will move people on. I just shouted on, and Mrs. M ran into the room. Not now, love. Okay, so Eugene, how are you?
Not too bad. Carol, how's yourself?
We've missed you, mate. We really have missed you in these last couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks.
Yes,
Where you been? What have you been up to?
I bet that. Frank, I'm glad to see you've stopped stalking men in the gym. I believe you've become a high-rise peeping Tom now.
Yes, I'm on your trail now, Eugene. Come on, brother. Where have you been?
And he dares turn up. Well, it's very great to have you here in your it's like a heifer t-shirt, isn't it? Is that the pattern of a heifer cattle?
I'm in the countryside in Ireland, and this is camouflage.
So when you're in a field full of cows, no one can see you except for your head. But it suits your heffing language,
exactly.
obviously. Garvo. So who? Eric? We've already had a horn from somebody. So that's exactly it. When we see the horn, we move on and just respect. And we've got lots of comments to go through already. But quickly, we need to say hello to Garva. How are you, my friend? Any different leaves past your window this morning or this week?
No leaves this week. Been a bit of a slow one.
No leaves, even, as you've been sat in the window like Kermit the Frog with condensation running down. Oh, bless you, mate. Okay. Let's see how we get on then. So the horn has been introduced as a little bit of pressure and social. That's like a cattle prod for the man cave, or
Frank,
a little
horn.
Make some horn.
Oh yeah, I do.
So where are we? Hola, boa noite, gentlemen. Great to be in your company tonight. Too much time between Fridays. Bless you, Eric. Lovely to have your company. Mars
Eric.
Bonfire. An interesting fellow over there in the UK. Good evening to you, Mars. Lovely to have your company as well. Best wishes to you. Right back at you. Yes, but the better heating and insulation in Leiria, I learned to say it correctly this morning, than in better in Birmingham than in Leiria. Let's rattle through these honeymoon always. Dan is here, joining from Texas. Great to have your company, Dan in Texas. Thank you, Joel, from the top. Ladies, there's only one man who dare say that to us, and that's Owen Lloyd Martin. And he's having a beer. Might join us later. We've got some pictures to share of some amazing food that he prepared today. Some around Mora, further south as well. So these are inlets for modern pirates make their way in. As I said, we're not endorsing that sort of behavior. Thanks, Joel. Put on my hiking boots on and get on my coat as well from Mark Jones in Oz. Peter Bleach, Frank, are you on Colada? What is that in your glass, Frank?
It's a lime cordial with vodka.
Vodka and lime. That's very in touch with your feminine side. Trying to think of the right way to say that. Guys, reading some crazy news about my beloved Portugal here in Australia. Rise to the challenge and emerge with new opportunities. Thanks for that, whoever you are. Do let us know. This is Steve, I think, in Minneapolis. Good evening, bon night, gentlemen. FB link that's been provided. Sorry, Gary, for that. Hello to Filomena Pascual and Rachel Tamarão in the Facebook user. Thank you. In the
I didn't see the rest of that.
Bonoit from the gents there. Steve W's already in the gents. Is Garvo still extricating himself from the gift suit? That well-polished wood in his dungeon is a testament to him. And if I zoom in,
never gonna leave you, Garvo.
Let's just zoom in on Garvo's polished wood.
Yeah.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
So we start as we mean to go on. There's the link. Portugal or bust. That's an interesting name. I think we'll take bust this evening, given that it's. But we don't mean bust as in bankrupt or broke. We obviously mean a lady's bust. If I may make the first puerile comment of the evening. Benoit, fellas, starting with a beer, says Steve. Lack of original ideas. We're doing our best, Eric. But I think he's aiming that at YouTube generally and social media youngsters, the likes of which banned our mate here, Garvo, put him on the digital naughty step. We're not having it. Benoit Man Cavers from Brother Terrence. First Man Cave. Hope you're still here. Getting interested already. That was about whether violence, I think, was related to violence on screen related to violence in reality. Eugenio. Hell, oh, buddy. Nice to see you, man. I think that's hello, buddy. And Filomena Pascual, act sensible, everyone, at least for a couple of minutes. Filomena's here, and she can get quite school-marmy and tell us off if you like that sort of thing. Bon night, Arturo. Pete Bleach said, we had it's a knockout and Jim will fix it growing up, and it never did us any harm. Milking cows blindfolded never did us any harm. The Royals never went boinking into anyone. Oops, that's a point. That point's a bit moot, steady. Nobody wants to be ruining Frank's MBE here tonight. Eugenio should read, nice to see you, buddy. Too much to drink, I think. Is that aimed at him or you?
Nice to hear from you, Terence.
Violence in society is not new. Go back only 250 years, dueling, public execution. It could be said we have been living through an abnormally non-violent period. We will come back to that. Who has to have the horn to move on? It applies to everybody. If I see that there are horns appearing in the comment, we'll get some of this. And the gentleman with the talk. Yeah, you need to move on if you hear that sound. Horns crew, Jay Walker's loving it in Wales. And I think somebody's enjoying my horn technique already this evening. Eric J, nice. Beautiful. That's the sort of thing we need to see. Cut and paste that bad boy across the comments. The system in its struggle to survive is breeding violence. Yeah, I think that's true. Lots to discover there. Oh, and Victoria, I don't know if you're here. We will have an indie disco, if only for you tonight at midnight. We will be stopping at midnight, rolling back the carpet. That's not a sexual euphemism. We will be rolling back the metaphorical carpet and cutting the rug and pushing the furniture back and having an indie disco tonight. Marcos Valbon, boa noite, meus senhores. Good evening to you, Marcos, as well. Lovely to see you here. Frank, that sounds delicious. Vodka and lime. Told you it was feminine side. Need to get me the lime cordial, as I only have vodka and tonic at present. Eugene, my brother, good to see you from Charles Mitchell in the States. And Eric's got the horn. Nice one, Doc. He really has. Let's have a look at that again. Let's inspect that. That's very ceremonial looking with a slightly swollen red bit on it. Is that it for the now with the comments? Yes, one more from Charles. Cheers to all the manliest men I know. How about that? Right.
Carl, before you go
Gary.
any further, right? Because
we're stopping for a moment. We're stopping for a moment. Over to you. You have
okay,
the
right.
walking stick.
I did promise you a lightning tour of the man cave if you should want it.
Woo!
Yes.
I don't know whether this is going to work, but I'm going to press this link to see if it happens. So you should get something else come up because I'm doing this on a pad, or hopefully will be.
Yeah, I've muted the mic on it. This is really clever. This is very clever. So you've got handheld going on there. Okay, that's good. So what I'll do is I'll put you next to your outside broadcast kind of vibe there. There you go. So you see Gary on the left, and you see what he's seeing through his body cam on Gazbar 2 there. This is really good. Actually, let's put that a bit bigger.
Oh, nice.
Here we
Ooh, a pool. Nice.
Pool table. Yep. Dartboard, pool table.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Mark. Actually, I'll unmute your own mic,
It's a little
Gary.
bit small for a pool.
We'll be able to hear you there. Oh, he's muted himself. I can't do that. If you want to unmute yourself to give us the tour, that's fine, Gary. But we're loving this, aren't we? That Kentucky woodwork. Very nice wood. Surrounded by wood there. Blue baize as well. Blue baize is always a nice classy touch, isn't it? Is that a barrel in the corner? He's got his own still or hooch. Yep, dartboard. This is feeling a little bit Hannibal Lecter, isn't it? This handheld camera work in the basement.
No.
Well, this is where he tempts them in.
Okay, what's that? Is that a urinal down there? He's got his own urinal in the basement there. That's very handy.
Yeah, Where's your dance pole, Garbo?
That's pool.
I know you have one. Garbo. Stop showing something else. Show me the dance floor where you go do swinging stuff.
Oh, Gary. Yeah, look, there's a disco ball. Flipping heck. We're going to have such fun in there at some point.
This is good.
Oh, this is the back room where he says, come with me into the back room.
Absolutely.
He's got one of those nudie rattan chairs from soft focus, soft pornography calendars of the 70s there.
Great. Now I have something in common with Carl. We've seen the same stuff.
Is that a massage table? It's a massage table.
This is what he's telling them. It's a massage
What is that?
That's a horn.
There's the horn.
That's his penis horn.
There's that white thing from the other night, and there's his shape.
What is this? What was that, Garbo? Is this where you're like grilling the sausages?
What was that that just came into shot there?
Can you hear me, guys, now?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Yes.
We quite like the enigmatic silence. You've got some explaining to do.
It's
Right,
a
you
penis
asked the questions,
extender.
I'll tell you.
Does that really increase it from 5 centimeters to 15, as it says in the advertisement?
Garbo, first of all, explain the rattan chair where the Playboy model does her spread.
Oh, this is brilliant! I thought we had a kind of social justice warrior in saying now we see the violence inherited in a system. It's actually somebody quoting, of course, from Monty Python. Help! I'm being oppressed. We're still on tour here in the guy. Look at this.
Right, what we got
Look
there?
at
Can you
this.
still hear me, guys?
We can definitely hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, there's Frank's little panel thing that he keeps going on about, which is really a set of maracas.
Yeah,
Okay.
whatever.
This is very difficult. Yeah, remember those, Frank? Your favourites?
Yeah, nice.
And there's
Take
a bit of
note,
a
Frank.
bit of what do you call it? A strange daggery thing there, which I think is Freemasonry going on from somewhere.
Yeah, strange
If you-
daggery thing, made to order. Nice.
If you want
That
a good
is
blowjob, you've always got
usually
these.
for the cold.
And this is where you sit and have a drink from the old wine stores, which has got to be filled up a bit.
Oh
There you
yeah.
go.
Oh my word.
Is this Peter Stringfellow's basement? What is going on over there?
Oh, fantastic.
So there you go, guys. A quick one. We got some sounds here.
It's like, yeah, that's a good stereo. Hold on, zoom in. Did you get that in this country?
Yeah.
Did you
This is
buy
a
it on
gramophone.
Facebook Marketplace for
Beatbox.
3,000 euros?
No, it was
If they
from
sold-
Morton.
Oh, Wharton's, okay.
Yeah.
It's a nice little boogie box, that.
It's called a karaoke box, I think.
Okay,
Karaoke.
guys, back to the program.
Well, that was all that he did that with one hand. Very impressive.
Where's the entrance for the ladies of the night?
Well,
Through the
no,
window?
actually, where's the exit? The exit's probably more important, isn't it, than the entrance? That's really very special.
great.
Thank you.
On the right, maybe.
Nice close up of your knee now as well.
Very nice, Garbo. So I have a few
Great.
questions, if I may.
It didn't get any horns, so that's go on, Frank.
Garbo, are you sure that was a complete tour?
Am I sure that was what? Sorry,
Are you sure that was a complete tour?
it was a lightning tour. I didn't want to get the horn.
Okay. Well, there are a few areas where a few of the sorted things might come out, right?
It puts the lotion in the basket. Oh, your neighbour, your Al Viagra neighbour, Jerry says, "Nice cover. When are the decorators coming?" Ooh,
Ooh,
ouch, Jerry.
that's like
I love Frank's laugh. Reminds me of Monkey Cage at the zoo. I
I gotta start loving Trump more. I want Charles to like me.
Old woman. I'm not a woman. Okay. Why is the white extender device next to the hammer? You've got questions to answer here, Gary.
I don't know. I'll think of a clever answer sooner or later. I don't know. I'll
Jeez.
pick one and put it there.
That hammer specifically is not called martelo, which is the direct translation from English to Portuguese. It's called maço.
I'm going to ask you this because you're probably better qualified.
what?
That little thing with the saw and the hammer, right?
Stop doing that.
Does that
Right.
mean something? Is it a symbol of something? Is it
No. That is just the correct word for that type of hammer is called a maço. It usually that hammer usually is used for the barrels in Portugal. At least my grandfather used that kind of hammer, that wooden hammer, especially just for barrels, wine barrels. So
right?
it was that
So it ties in.
round,
It ties in. I
so
see.
it would keep the iron rings tight around the wooden bit of the barrel.
Gotcha.
Obviously.
Gotcha.
A lot of love coming in, Gary. A lot of love coming in. Nice cave, brother Gary from Steve Merwin. Very nice, Gary. Now that's a man cave, Steve W. You don't want decorators coming in and ruin that rustic charm, do you? Or Easter Island kind of vibe.
It's still got that slightly seedy, fetid, dark side to it, which I quite like. So we'll leave it as it is.
Suits you, sir. Classic man cave, Gary. Great work from Eric J. More questions, Garbo. Is that a urinal in the corner by the dartboard? I thought it was a handy urinal.
No, that's where you wash your balls.
From the Blue Bays.
From the snooker table.
Okay, very good. Where's the well? where he does the tuck dance. Is that another Monty Python reference? I don't know.
No,
Okay. And your dance pole should be in the bedroom where it's supposed to be, says Victor. We may have given a secret away about herself there. 50 Shades.
oh boy, not that.
But it's like 50 Shades of Brown, isn't it, rather than grey in there?
That is a plot twist.
That does sound like an unfortunate sexual euphemism, 50 Shades of Brown. I do me.
Probably better than 50 Shades of Grey.
What is it? Is this Monty Python as well, or is that Charles just being terrible?
Charles is always on something special. I like this side of Charles.
Yeah.
I think he's
Go on, Gary. I think. Is Gary connection a bit choppy? No, I'm not. I don't know if it's me cutting off or Gary there, but Anti Seppanen is here again. Boa noite, senhores. Doug's in, the man himself. Boa noite, Bungle, Zippy, and George. Mush, pork barrels. What's happening there? Mush, is that? So were they pork barrels, wine barrels? What you got in there? Nothing like a good barrel hammer. says Eric J. Managing to turn that into a smutty reference as well. Oh, it's a Silence of the Lambs reference. I see. Yeah. So other people were sensing that as well. Okay, so where are we going to go to with our conversation tonight before midnight? Are we talking about what it's like to be a man in 2021, where the government and local government are telling you can't go out, and social media is telling you what you can and can't say? Bloody, 20-year-old fact checkers telling men the age of Gary what he can and can't say, and putting him on a digital.
I think we should continue with that.
But then we didn't resolve the violence thing, did we? About you were saying it's a violent time, Frank. Others saying this is possibly the most peaceful time for a very long time, if not ever.
It depends.
Society
is not saying that. Go ahead. Go ahead, Joe.
I think that was Eugene with a comment there.
Oh, was it Eugene? Eugene, go ahead.
Who's trying to resolve
Eugene, my brother, I want to kiss you on the cheek. How you doing?
You're kissing fuck all at me, Frank.
Easy, gentlemen. I've just been.
Who's trying to resolve violence? Gary, did somebody have a go at you? Some 20-year-old that fucking giving you cheek?
No, man, it's the great dark forces that inhabit the internet.
Them fuckers.
Yeah, keyboard warriors. Nothing else to say about that, because they
their balls haven't dropped yet. I wouldn't worry about them.
In a 40-year-old man or more.
I was said something not politically correct, and was given the red card for 24 hours.
By Facebook.
You got banned on Facebook for 24 hours.
How do you feel about it?
Nice.
Just like
nice. That's a garbo. That's a garbo I like. That's a garbo I like. Nice one, garbo. Power to the people.
Yeah.
Fair play to you, Garbo. Fuck them.
Honestly,
And that little twat who said whatever he said or she said. One of the things we have to understand in this day and age is whatever they say with a keyboard, I wish they would come and say in person.
There was no warning. That was it. You've been blocked. That's it. You're out.
Yeah.
Out for 24 hours.
For saying something that in context really wasn't the end of the world, was it? But
it was. Well, remember the post with the lady lying on top of the bins?
Yeah.
Fork sword. Yeah, right.
Yes.
I made a comment on that, and it obviously triggered something in the algorithms of the boys in the back room at the Apple or wherever they, sort these things out, and just instantly blocked me.
Yeah. I think that's cool.
They are becoming so fragile with anything said by anybody else that has a difference of opinion, that they think or they implement a algorithm or a electronic an algorithm. They apply an algorithm so to what, shut us up. Will that work? No. No, that is the problem with social media, for example, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and everything else, even including Twitch, for example, which is a gaming streaming app. They don't they think that, for example, certain things cannot be allowed, and I do understand and I support that part. But then again, they have two like dois pesos e duas medidas. Saying in Portuguese because I cannot say it in English. So they have two measures and two balance. Or
Nice
scales.
gesture there. Nice gesture
Nice
there.
one. Nice gesture.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
my is it not this one? Is more like this one.
You're not
Yeah,
impressed, youngsters.
slap the shit out.
Okay. So we get it. We get it.
Carl,
Yeah.
I
Frank.
I blame Harvey Weinstein, that piece of shit. He has pushed men's movement back by 25 to 30 years. He has ruined everything good men have tried to do for years.
Interesting view. I'm sure that won't just stay hanging there. I'm sure people will respond to that. Douglas, I want to talk about Jeffrey and Rod, Jane and Freddie. Go ahead, Douglas. You're most welcome. Christopher coming in with a serious question. Christopher Roth, can US citizens travel to Portugal at the moment? Simply no. Does Garbo have a nice Chianti down there? Maybe some fava beans. When you say down there, I think you're referring to the man cave. Down there, I suspect you are. Fava beans, of course, extra special here in Portugal. That is the tremoso, isn't it? The fava bean. It seems to
really? I didn't know that.
I thought so.
It
It seems to me it's still easier to be a man here as though a woman. I mean,
well,
what's
you're
that?
a Formula One driver, so who cares?
Oh, Frank. Don't be like that to our guests from Finland.
No, I love him. I'm just joking.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
I kid you, Anti-Seppin, and I love your name.
Yeah, me too. And I think if you are a Formula One driver, you would have a very skewed view of women and the world, wouldn't you, as a Formula One driver, through virtue of conditioning and all.
Formula One isn't the same thing and the same romantic view that we had in the 60s, 70s, even from the 50s up to the 80s, 90s. It's not the
You
same
make a very good point, Joe. Yes, and it's so connected with what it is to be a man in 2021. I don't look at Lewis Hamilton and think, oh, I would really love to be a kind of social justice vegan as well, Lewis. You're amazing. I want to be like James Hunt or Barry Sheen. And I don't know if it's just because of my age.
Alan Prost.
Alan Prost, exactly. Yeah.
Why doesn't no one who be Nicky Lauda?
What?
Yeah.
Gary, this is interesting. Thank you for that underarm there, Gary. The doc saying no, Chris. Only citizens and maybe residents returning to.
No,
Portugal.
not even residents. There is several Portuguese families living in UK that want to get back here to Portugal to help people, families they have here, and they are retained at airports in England and cannot travel back.
This is terrible, 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 terrible. Okay, Gary and Frank will be happy to know they have swayed me on socialized medicine. Now, this is an interesting development.
The conversation, I know what he's on about, the conversation we had about going from the insurance system they have in America to a kind of national health system, which is paid for through taxes instead of paying the same fees that they have in America.
Yeah, it's
similar to the Canadian system.
It's the best solution. So
is that what we've run about, Charles? I hope we have, because it just seems logical to me.
Although socialized medicine reminds me of that joke, you know, I'm having a vasectomy.
Yeah,
Are you having
the perfect solution for healthcare system, but it is the one that works the better.
Yeah, we have both here, so you know, it's quite happily exist side by side.
Best of the both worlds.
I think it's quite a
right here in Portugal.
good hybrid. It's punchline to I'm having a vasectomy next week.
Thanks.
No, you don't. Okay, fair enough. I did
Carl-
ask. So, socialized medicine. What?
No, go ahead.
What's that? What, Frank?
No, I
Okay.
thought you said you were going to have a vasectomy. I thought you wanted me to come. I'd come. I'd
Would you come?
I'd
Love you, man, but not that much.
help you, brother.
Okay. Give me more. No, the joke is a guy says, I'm going to be having a vasectomy next week. His mate says, are you having it done privately? And he says, I bloody well hope so. And I thought that's what Charles was talking about with socialized medicine. It's like where everybody's in the same room. It's like, it's so welcome to your communal ward. This is socialized medicine, but he's obviously talking about public, publicly owned health systems and good ones at that. And the NHS being a global example, despite what the Tories have done to it for the last however long. So yeah, he's done his research and he's moving slowly to the dark side, as he calls it there. Very interesting. Pete Bleach, going back to being a man, it's definitely easier being a man. Women may have a few extra years, but pushing a bowling ball out of your soft bits, indeed, Pete. A point well made and very graphically. Another reason I don't have an account. This is with Facebook, presumably, because you just don't want to be up against that nonsense, Eric. Yeah, fair play, mate. If people were face to face, they wouldn't say these things. Says it's Dan, isn't it? A Honeyman always. That is the biggest part of the problem. We need more face to face interaction. And I hope to think. I'd like to think this is a kind of halfway house with that. Andy, residents overland at the moment. Let's hope it lasts another week or so. Says Pete. Thanks, Pete. I should be at the border morning of the 10th. Oh, we're having a blow-by-blow account, aren't we, of the journey of the dock, which is great. Where did you get that from, Pete? So, yeah, some talk in the comments then about movement, free or not. I heard today a speech of Senor Andre Ventura, in Parliament about vaccination. Seems he's really a person having a conscience. I think Antti Seppänen there, you're referring to Andre Ventura chiding his colleagues. He's from the Chega party, of course, of Portugal. And they've all been very kind of reticent talking about why they've had the vaccination or not. And most of the politicians in Portugal have said, oh, no. Somebody more vulnerable than me should have it. The president
but that is not what is happening. The politicians will have vaccination even before the rest of the population.
But they're saying they haven't. And Chega's saying absolutely not a single person in this parliament should have it until the most vulnerable have. And he's scoring a cheap and easy political point with that, isn't he?
Yeah.
According to the far left, men and women don't exist anymore, especially white men, says Charles. We can rely on Charles for that sort of insight. And a lot of people are feeling this. And it's a good thing to talk about for sure, I think. The whole thing, gender, the polarization or not, as it turns out. One thing that's not being polarized is gender, isn't it? If you read the right sort of articles and academic reference works, there are, I think, 100 genders apparently now. It was said at BBC recently.
I'm not even going to comment on that because honestly, there are only two things in the entire nature of existence on this earth: male and female. There are exceptions where some animals can have both sexes and can choose between them. Those are exceptions because their genetic proficiency allow them to be like that. Humans don't have that. Even if a man wants to become a woman and has a name changed to a woman, if they go to search it, or if they do a DNA search, they will find more Y chromosomes than epsilon chromosomes. So basically, even if the man is a woman and looks like a woman, it's still a man. Period. I will not discuss this anymore.
That was the best comment ever I've heard from somebody who said, I'm not going to comment on this. And I suspect it might stimulate further conversation. You may have to come back, Joel, on that. We had a thumbs up.
No, I will not come back. This is my opinion. I understand if people don't agree with what I say. And That is my opinion. I will not argue. I will not discuss. This is my opinion. If they want to say they don't agree with what I say, it's fine with me. I will not argue beyond this point. It's just making a statement, and it's it.
Okay, all right. And this is how we roll in the man cave. We go from the hottest edge of gender politics back to fava bean. I get them with my beer at Restaurante Babougin. Oh, that is all he's going to say on the matter. He's gone. Prasa
Oh, I'm
Republica.
still here. I just
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad to hear it.
because I drink from a 5-liter water bottle. It's not. It's
Now
not pleasant
that
to
is
watch.
we're asking what being a man is. Drinking straight from the 5-liter water bottle, I think, would rank in among the
Drinking straight from this.
all right.
That's amazing.
What color is that? Hold on a minute. Hold up your sample again, Joel.
It's orange. It's not be like the last time. So this is orange juice.
All right.
Oh, okay. You're not drinking water then.
I was going to say you should drink more water.
Basically it is water based with a little bit of orange to it.
There you go.
So
What's
the fava
Eugene drinking? I'm very interested in knowing what Eugene is drinking, because it's always amazing to see what Eugene drinks. Eugene, is this some kind of home style concoction you got going today?
I started drinking earlier on, Frank.
Yeah.
And I was drinking Pachin. But
what else is new?
I ran out of lemons. So
What?
whenever I ran out of lemons, I took a bit of lemon and water with it sometimes. So then I got started onto the Jameson.
Oh, very
But
nice.
no,
You are a special man, Eugene. This is why you belong in my basement. I love this.
I went and I got a bottle of fucking Tam Navon.
Oh,
that's
beautiful.
fucking lovely. So that's it. Jesus,
This
it's
is
nice.
beautiful.
Again,
Too
hold that up.
fucking nice. That's the problem.
Can you please hold that up,
Hold it
Eugene?
again and say the name. Say the name again and hold it up, please. Oh,
Jameson.
Jameson and Tam Navon.
Tam Navon.
Very nice.
Very good.
That's very nice.
And this is, I think I heard Frank say that's why you should be in my basement. Clinton cards apparently have come out with a new range of cards to honor Frank, and there is one that just says simply on the front of the card, "You should be in my basement," which people are now sending to each other all over the world, inspired by the conversations they've heard. You should be in my basement, which would probably be a nice hashtag, wouldn't it? Love fava beans. I get them with my beer. So, okay, we've done that bit, but he gets jet propelled on his way back to the villa. So if you eat a few of those tremosos, apparently, and a few lagers, that is going to give you a bit of jet propulsion back to your home.
Really? I don't think so.
Maybe because you're Portuguese. If you've grown up with that, your gut might be accustomed to it.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll put it to the test. When we meet up, we'll eat a bucket of tremoso beans each and have 10 beers. And then
Oh, Jesus, that's not good.
I will not drink that much because if I have to drive, one beer will be suffice.
I'm suggesting we all get together in Frank's basement and see what happens after that. Make sure you have your.
Where's Bert Neil? Does Neil be on the wine club anymore?
Oh, hold on.
What'd you say, Eugene?
What was that about, Owen? I missed the horn there. Oh, this is this.
It's frozen again. It's frozen again. Anyway, lads, do you remember the horn, lads? Remember this, Frank?
I do remember the horn.
Remember the famous penis horn?
Yes.
Well, every now and then, I don't know if else is getting it, but we keep getting one of these flashing up on the screen, and I don't know whether it's a secret message from Carl.
It is. That's exactly what he's doing. He's a smart guy.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, there we go.
He's gone.
Where is he? So Eugene, along with the drinks, what are you working on right now as far as the smoke bit is concerned?
Oh, just an ordinary smoke.
Very nice, very nice. Eugene, you're a rock star. You know, you're very famous around the world. It's someone who's come out of a basement and who's done so well. This is amazing.
You're a cunning fun. You're good crack, Frank.
Don't worry about it. Sooner or later, you'll end up in Garbo.
What's it like in Coimbra?
Oh, it's very nice. I love it over here, man. You should come over here. When you come to visit, you and I will hang out, and it will be a kind of evening that we won't want to talk about again.
I bet, all right.
Yes.
I'm not a silly person at all, Frank.
Pardon?
I don't do well in a room with more than 3 or 4 people.
Yes, I know. I can see that. That's why. Hence the T-shirt that you're wearing. That's exactly. It's very anti-social T-shirt there. I'm
telling you, man, this is Irish camouflage.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. that's why the Irish never go to war very often.
For fuck's sake, the Irish Army. Jesus, that's nearly as bad as the Mounties.
Yes, and they are as bad. We've got tanks we haven't used in Canada since like the 60s. Chicago, this entire plan with the basement for what you've got going right now. This is a basement that's complete. You want a sound system over there, or do you have surround sound over there? Are you going to put like a small cinema in there? What's the idea there, Garbo? I really like your basement.
I'm keeping it simple, Frank. Right, we got the boom box in the corner, which is plenty big enough. Fills this place with like wall to wall sound. We got the television down there. Keep it simple. Keep the character of the place. Character. Yeah, just keep it as it is. It's just, to me, it's just a bit of fun, right? And this place I can come to. I can have a game of darts. I can have a little game of pool. It just kept me sane, really, over the past few weeks. It's just kind of kept me grounded. When I felt a bit anxious or a bit sort of depressed or whatever, come down here and have a laugh. Because you come in here, it just makes you laugh. Just because it's so, how can I say,
No, it's
lovely setup.
It's a bit sort of risque. I like it. This is an amazing spot. Oh, there you go. Carl Munson has decided to show up again. That's great. Thanks, Carl. Thanks for coming back.
Sorry. You know, we were talking about 20-year-olds stopping old men being on the internet. It basically was a 9-year-old in my case. My 9-year-old son has been pulling plugs in and out, trying to charge up his Nintendo Switch, and he hastily plugged in the router, and it's been going off and on, as I think we've discovered earlier on, and it just cut out completely. So the little bugger cut me off from the internet. These youngsters are winning, man. Yeah. So, and whilst I was there, I got some tremoso beans, so I can have a few tremosos myself there with my Sagres.
There you go. Good man. Good man.
And I think these are
the chimney with a brush tomorrow, Karen.
Say that what again?
Get him up a chimney with a brush tomorrow. Make him earn his keep.
Good idea. Yep. They don't know they're born. They don't know they're born. Sorry, what did I miss?
You missed quite a bit. He was talking about Irish camouflage, and I was telling him how often Irish go to war, and all that beautiful stuff.
We've drawn back.
The Irish Army don't go to war, Frank. But no, every war you can think of. The Irish Army don't go to war, but any war you can think of.
You guys don't.
There was always one party on one side throwing stones at another party on the other side.
Interesting that. Yeah, no, he's right.
I think you fought more for us than you did anything else, didn't you? In the British Army, you fought more for us.
We were in the British Army, for fuck's sake.
He's not happy about it. Right. So along this, the socialization or socialismization of Charles, I think something along the lines of what Canada has. Chris feels vindicated, I think, and his plan is coming together to make Charles a lefty. Just stop arguing with him for a few weeks and he starts letting the good ideas. That's going to stop it, isn't it? That's not going to work. The doc, socialized medicine is more effective and does not divert taxpayers into the private pocket. Article 5 of the decree, Andy. Oh, that's about movement of people. Ventura is a fascist, says the doc. I don't want to sound politically naive here, but I'm going to anyway. Fascist is a word we see used a lot. What do you? I'm just for the sake of a meaningful conversation, rather than chucking a word around, Doc. What do you mean by that? Let's go into some depth there. I'm not defending him. I'm not saying he isn't. I want to know what you mean by that, because I think that's another shortcoming of the age we're in, is that we go to just a word or two as a way of, expressing ourselves and putting other people down, perhaps. And a little bit more elaboration I would like from you. Not a criticism. I just want to understand you better. Charles, Biden has made sure that if you're currently residing at Gitmo, your vaccine is on its way. Tony Mitchell, Jose de Souza just got knocked out the Masters darts. Oh, Tony, that's very bad news. So the Portuguese darts player is out of the Masters darts. Gutting for all of us in the man cave tonight. So, yeah, we I don't know if we should have a minute's silence or what, but that thank you for that. This just in. Joel is
Really sad to hear that.
Joel is mansplaining. But he's given us. Did you see the look he just did? He doesn't care. That was the water off a duck's back expression in Portuguese there. Not bothered. Does he look bothered? He's not bothered. Trying to find a decree. There's some decree searching going on, hampered by alcohol over there in Birmingham. Joel seems to be drinking a sample bottle. Don't get them mixed up, Joel. That bottle you're taking down to the chemist on Monday, don't get it mixed up with your water supply. Orange juice from your own garden. Good question. Is that your own orange juice, Joel? Very good. A real Portuguese man is not going to be buying oranges.
2 orange trees and 2 tangerine trees.
Okay, nice one. Well, you're not afraid to juice them. Worried me about the water in Portugal when I saw. I thought it was discoloured water. Glad it's orange juice. From Kent Albin. Nice one, Kent.
Kent, from a Canadian, coming from a Canadian, this is the best water you will ever find anywhere in the world. I love Portuguese water.
Yeah.
And
in the central part,
the bottled waters are not even, they say they are bottled from Serra da Estrela or whatever, but the purest water you'll find at the fountain, we call it nascentes. Sorry, I don't know the word in English. For example, in Aroca, Serra da Aroca, there is a village called Pedras Parideiras, where the place where the water comes out from earth is a little bit protected, but still it's the purest water you can find back here. One of the purest.
So you mean the water coming from the tap? Water coming from the tap is amazing, Joel? Is that what you're saying? Water coming from the tap in Portugal is beautiful, correct?
What I'm saying is natural water, natural spring water.
Absolutely. Amazing water.
All right. We part of this evening's entertainment is reenacting scenes from films. So Gary and I will now do a scene from a famous Spielberg movie. Batman. That was good, wasn't it?
That's very mature. That's great, guys.
Are you going to celebrate? Well, I'm doing that because somebody has sent me this picture. Do you like? Great. I just got a WhatsApp message. Do you like my horn with a smiley emoji? And I actually don't know who this is because they sent me another thing this morning. And please forgive me, because people send me WhatsApp things and it's just your number and I can't see from the little photos and stuff who you are. So you might not want to say who you are having sent that picture in, but thanks all the same. And Gary's got a matching one. There's a pair.
It's not me, Carl. Honest.
Well, it's Gary. It's Gary.
Gary, it's definitely.
Yeah, mine's more shiny than that. Look, I think mine's a bit bigger as well.
It's probably all the rubbing. Anything that you rub a lot, shiny.
Fair play, guy.
RD from Canada. Is that AD? RD from Cambodia. A Portuguese food is delicious.
Hello, Adi.
RD, have the Portuguese made their presence felt in Cambodia as they have in many other parts of the world? Have you got some food item there that's been influenced directly by Portugal?
Beautiful Cambodian food. Beautiful people.
Too true. I am for a get together in Frank's basement, pre-prepared. You got to love wipe down walls. So there is. Have you sent him that card? You should be in my basement. He's up there. This question about Burns night, wasn't that last weekend? Or is it this Sunday?
I don't even know what date it is, so I'd have got.
It's Friday today. So I'm not, and we did talk about haggis, didn't we? We talked about the Birmingham haggis, which is the faggot.
We did.
And we talked about roast and stuff.
Got to stop you there, Carl. Got to stop you, Rob. Do not say the faggot is a Birmingham invention because you'll upset the Black Country people. You'll never make any friends from the Black Country if you tell us that. The faggot comes from the Black Country. It's their supreme accolade. It is theirs.
Yeah, Carls. Where's the MBE, OBE going to come from if you keep on doing this to the Birmingham people?
Sorry, that's a big affront to the people of the Midlands.
Remember, it's a joint mission. We need to get the MBE or OBE together, please.
It's always a team thing, isn't it? Where one person takes the credit, but it's always teamwork. You're absolutely right. Andy, the doc's left his McSween's veggie haggis in Leiria. There's probably only one thing worse than haggis, and that's veggie haggis, Doc. But tell us more. Tell us more. What's that made of?
Veggie haggis. This is so boring. Why are people so boring?
So, point of order and contention there. Veggie haggis. Come on, Doc. Is that like a nut cutlet in a piece of synthetic intestine? Because that's not sounding very appetizing. And even Frank,
it's just something in a kid's nappy. It's horrible.
I can see the pained look on your face as a chef.
Yeah,
as well.
It's horrible.
He's just not having it. He's not having it. An evening you won't want to talk about, or an evening you're not legally allowed to speak of ever again. Who was that? No one's owning up.
Frank
to that,
was trying to accost me in Coimbra.
Okay. Yeah, I was.
And was he successful?
Yeah, he's coming as we speak.
I admire your openness, Frank.
Right. This is a very generous comment. This is a very generous comment from Doug. We perhaps to change your view, Joel, and we know you're quite steadfast in your view on this, but Douglas is inviting you to see him in drag and thinks that you might be, I don't know, swayed, influenced, turned, or something like that. Looking at your face, I don't think so.
No, that definitely will not make me change my mind because it is tradition in Portugal during the carnival that men dressed up as women. So it is very popular trend here. So I'm not excited about the possibility of seeing any man being in a drag.
Seen it all
is there a picture of you in that carnival dressed as a woman there, Joel?
I never did that.
Oh, okay.
I don't believe that. But Douglas might send a picture.
Nope, I never did that.
Garvo, you see, methinks the gentleman doth protest too much, possibly. Garvo, when is the sawdust arriving for the man cave floor?
I've got some in the garage, strangely enough. I could try that.
Yep. Joel, would you be up for that in a kind of manly way?
What?
Strip down to the chest, bare knuckle fighting in the man cave.
I'm more of a slap man.
He's more of a slap man. Okay. Charles Mitchell, why is Joel saving his
Oh,
urine?
you've given Carl so much to work with now. That's great.
Carl is being censored by his own kin. It's true, little bugger. Wash hands, wash hands, wash. I don't know what that means, but it looks like it should be funny. Apparently, because he is a real man. Oh, this is because you say, yeah, that's right. Look, I don't know. Maybe it's like a shaving balm or something like that. Douglas, sod the beans, Carl. When we meet, it's cheese. He's raised my beans, as it were, and now we're going for cheese. Agree. The word thing is rife. If we don't agree with lefties, we're fascist or racist. You see, this is what I am talking about. That's not to say you're not racist or fascist, but let's find out through respectful conversation. Go
Do
on,
you know,
Joel.
that's such a good point there. That is really good. What you've just highlighted there. Unless we actually talk to each other, yeah, from the extremes, we don't really ever know what it's all about, do we? And we don't learn anything, we suppose, because somebody else has told us that this is what it's all about. I mean, for instance, an extreme version. I've never had a conversation with a white supremacist, but it doesn't mean to say that I wouldn't have a conversation with one, because I don't actually really know that much about them. In the same way, I wouldn't know what a black supremacist is all about. So yeah, I would talk to anybody. I really would, and I think that's a healthy way to look at things. Because if you say I don't want to listen to you and I don't want to listen to you, we never learn anything. We never grow.
Yeah,
And
but and Garbo, I would send you in there. I would send you in there to talk to either side, because I don't think Munson and I and myself would go in there. That would not happen.
I would, because I'm not opposed to listening to anybody, and I think that's the problem in the world now. We shut people down and we silence them because we don't like what they're saying, right? And in doing that, it just makes them more and more extreme and more violent, and you know, it pushes them out to the edges, and they become reactive.
No, the left, for example, the left we have in Portugal currently is the far left, is extremist left, the same way as, for example, the party of Chega is far right. It is the same basic concept, but opposing sides.
It all goes around in a circle.
If, for example, a man tells me I'm gay, great, I'm heterosexual. He calls me homophobic. If I think I sent a bit to Carl, a cartoon to Carl to show what I mean. If he said, "Oh, I am this," okay, I'm that. He calls me another thing. So, for example, "Oh, I'm black," great, I'm white. So, what gives? I don't give a fuck about that. So after that, he calls me a racist. That cartoon, essentially, is what I consider my points of view.
All right.
There is I do not believe on gray areas. I believe either white or black, either good or bad. I don't believe in middle term. That's it.
Okay.
So
All right.
to me, that's a cartoon that I sent to Carl just now. Show, for example, how the extreme left thinks, because everything that is a contradiction to their belief, I'm the opposite. I'm a fascist, for example. If I don't agree with their ideas, for example, of having a single bathroom for kids for both genders, doesn't make any sense. So if I don't agree with that extremist left idea, then I'm a fascist.
Okay, we get the point.
Where that makes a sense. That doesn't make a sense. It's
All right,
just common.
Let's catch up on a few comments here. Thank you for that, Joel. Fascism. This is the reference or the definition that the doc is working to for him, and this is where he would put Ventura of Chega in Portugal here. Authoritarian, reactionary, socially conservative, divisive, oppressive, abandoning democracy to use the state to the benefit of the military industrial complex. Wow. I wasn't aware of his connection to the military. I've not really looked into him that far.
So far from what I've seen from Chega Party, he didn't even address one single bit about military or implementing a military force as a government in Portugal.
Fair play. Okay, and we'll come back to this. I'm just going to work. What I'm going to do is something a little bit different. Come back from the most recent comments to try and catch up a bit. Extremists live in an echo chamber. That's true, I think, Charles. And that's what Garvo wants to stop. It's like, to get them talking, put them on the spot. That might help. Douglas, T is racism in parts of Portugal against blacks in Lisbon and Porto, but also, or maybe Ventura, and also against Roma communities. Talking to Douglas there. Siem Reap have a Portugal restaurant and is near my house, and I have many Portuguese friends, and I need to visit this wonderful country when COVID ends forever. We will maybe meet up then at some point. Thank you for that.
Nice.
From what I've seen, the black versus white thing isn't an issue in Portugal. People just rub along over there. I like this about Portugal. Yeah, I think that's perhaps a little bit idealistic. I think there will be problems because there's people, but I think you're right, Douglas, in the sense that it does feel a whole lot better.
Yeah, Portugal is
let me just
no
do these
exception.
comments, guys.
We are.
Hold up a minute, Joe. The true voice of reason there, Frank. Listen to everyone and use logic and comedy to understand each other. That's really us, isn't it? I think. The doc, Steve W. The term originated. This is what is a lefty? Asked Steve. And Andy, the doc, says the term originated in the chamber of the Revolutionary Assembly in France. The radicals sat on the left of the speaker, the conservatives sat on the right. And it's been adopted throughout the world, isn't it? Maybe we need to have a look at that. The purpose of veggie haggis is to soak up the single malt and occupy the neeps and tatties. Yeah, the neeps and tatties are where the action is. Who doesn't like neeps? Let's face it. Peter Bleach. So have you ever seen Jolie? That's why I like. Hold on. That's why I like Portugal. No, there are many ways of reading this. That's why I like Portugal so much. Joel, one word for Portugal. I'm reading there, but I think he's responding to one of your comments there. Yeah, what the veggie haggis is really getting some stick tonight. What's the what would be the purpose of veggie haggis?
It should get a lot of stick. It should get more than a stick. It should be eliminated.
Haggis is good.
Garbage. That's what it is.
If it's not Scottish, it's not Scottish. Unfortunately, here we go. EU comment incoming from Terence. The EU has banned Burns night haggis and impounded cheese sandwiches. That's terrible news, Terence. And good to see that the Daily Mail is still available on the Silver Coast. And haggis was had. Oh, okay. I think reading it backwards is probably not such a good thing to do. Technically, Burns Night was the 25th. I thought so. So Monday, but it was celebrated last weekend, and haggis was had. I hope in a nutritional rather than sexual way. Biden sent the card. So Frank and Joe Biden are on the same page here with you should be in my basement. Okay, but there's some contention about Burns Night. Nope, this Sunday. So there we go. But Garvo is right. Oh, it's from you. No, we've got somebody owning the horn. It is my horn. Oh, I feel quite blessed to have you sending me pictures of your horn, Philomena. But Garvo is right. His is bigger. So maybe she can explain to Gary why he has one of those in his cellar, because Gary doesn't know, do you, mate?
No, please do, Philomena. Please do. I would love to have a bit of culture.
Have I frozen? What's going on?
No, you're still here, but you're still here. We can still hear you.
Hello.
No,
Hello.
Oh,
keeps
okay.
dropping out.
Yeah.
Garbo, I'm very curious to know, like, your location in Al Viagra. Is it like somewhere in the woods where, like people will drive into, to get away from it all, to develop some sin? What kind of location is this?
The house sits high above the town. You can look out over the town. It's probably one of the highest roofs in the town itself. So it's quite an obvious place. And what worried me, Frank, is when we moved here, right? The house had been empty for, I think, probably a couple of years or whatever. But as soon as we opened the gates and everything, people started coming and gathering around. So I'm thinking, well, yeah, it's nice to be welcome. But what's this coming in here and having a look around? Was this place something else? Did it have another purpose?
Did they look like perverts?
Yeah, well, we can look. Well, who knows? But hey,
that's a terrible stereotype. That's a terrible stereotype. Not all people who use sex workers are perverts, Frank.
Well, I'm a pervert. Doesn't matter.
At least he's honest.
Okay. Yeah, it's true. So there's some contention here about water not being so good in the summer. You can understand why that might be. It probably needs a lot more treatment in the summer. Don't drink the tap water. And this is Charles. I bet he tells all the girls this. Straight from the tap is best. Fascists use racism, sexism to grassroots solidarity against authoritarian rule. We're getting a picture, the doc. Thank you for that. I love all Portuguese water except pedras, the stone water.
Usually,
And also, yeah,
Água das
the
Pedras
water
usually
from
has a little
Monchique
bit
is very
of fizz. We usually use, for example,
soapiness,
those
right?
small
Alkaline.
bottles, green bottles of Água das Pedras. We usually use when we have some stomach problems or something like else to clean and wash it up.
Very nice.
For fuck's sake.
Again.
That's the end of the fucking question, boys.
Philomena, that's a bit of French she's dropped in there, by the way.
What happened there, Eugene? Is it finished? Is the thing finished?
Fucking ran out. I've no
geez.
more fucking left.
That's
I have to drink this whiskey.
Where's the other bottle? Where's the other bottle?
Fuck it, I've still got that here, but sure.
Jesus.
It's not the same.
You got a few minutes left.
Great.
Hey,
Fuck's sake.
Nowhere else to go but the basement.
Eugenio for Philomena, because Philomena is such great value for us. She is so wonderful to have on our show on a Friday. We had a beautiful show this morning. But to return the favour, would you mind reciting a bit of poetry or a filthy limerick or something like that just for Philomena so she can hear your accent that she loves so much? Can we do that?
What did you want me to say?
There was an old man from Strabane.
Hello? Is he just gone?
There was an old man from Strabane. He liked to give ladies a hand. I don't know where else to go from there.
Is that it? Go all
That's
the way.
it. That's it. I didn't do well at school. I failed the poetry.
Eugene, you perv. You silly. Go on, man.
Frank, I have a bottle of punch in me, for fuck's sake. Leave me alone.
Go on, tell us how it is. Give us a bit.
What?
Give us a bit so that Philomena can really hear you. Because I want the world to hear you properly.
Gang of fuckers.
You twisted twat. Go ahead.
I can't think of anything to fucking sing.
Yeah, go ahead, sing.
Oh, no good, Frank. I'm going to have some rum.
There you go.
No good.
Eugene, look at what you've done. Garbo is not pouring a drink. He's pouring a proper drink because he's waiting for you to do your performance.
Oh, thank Christ. Fair play to you, Garbo.
He's been inspired there. So I hope you got what you were looking for, Philomena. You got some colourful responses there from Eugene. Even the way he says
Sorry,
the F word.
Philomena.
No, don't worry. Even how you say the F word has a certain allure to it. No connection to the military, but it is the path we've taken historically with fascists, absolutely. Okay, back to the question we were asking. What is it to be a man in 2021? Is that another baby coming to sabotage my show? Yeah. Right. Me router was unplugged. Okay, to be a man in 2021 is to have a broader perspective, to see past the short-term concerns and small conversations for the bigger things we can individually contribute to. You, your family, and for your community, an appreciation for the simple things and the courage to take on the complicated. Is that Chris Roberts? That sounds like Chris Roberts to me, and I'd wholly endorse that. Sounds pretty cool, actually, that.
Could you please sound the horn for that one, Carl Munson? That's a rock star move.
In fact, I think he should get a full-blown Barcelo for that.
However, I will say one thing. Things have not changed. This is how men should be behaving on a regular basis. And this is why I mentioned Harvey Weinstein, that little prick. He ruined men for 20 to 25 years.
Now, we were talking earlier on about what we would say face-to-face with people or not. Would you say that to his face?
I would. Why would you not? He looks useless. I would not do that to Arnie or Sylvester Stallone.
But you never go with Weinstein. Yeah,
Yes.
that makes sense. I bid you all a great rest of evening. Oh, we wanted to have a look at your pork loin. I think I've still got the pictures that you sent to me.
Yeah, where's your loin?
We'll have a look at that. He's a very gifted chef. Eugene, you're right.
Eugene, you're all right. I'm concerned about you.
Went down the wrong way. Come and have a lie
Yeah.
down.
I'm worried about being carried myself, Frank. You boys are bonding way too much over the strangest things too.
Eugene,
Yeah.
do you get concerned? Do you get concerned when things go down the wrong way? Stop it, Eugene.
Occasionally.
I know what I'd say to Harvey Weinstein.
Go on.
You dirty old man.
Yeah, the horrible.
You dirty old man.
That's all you would say to him? A little stupid idiot.
Frank, it's something from British comedy, Steptoe Son.
Don't be like that to me, Gary.
You dirty old man.
Look it up, everybody. Just look up "dirty old man" on the internet. Everything will be fine. If it's not Scottish, it's crap. That's Kaylee talking about haggis there.
There you go.
And an apology. Sorry, we're celebrating it online this Sunday. Burns night, that is. So, yes. Send us the link, Kaylee, so we can make sure it's a traditional, authentic Scottish haggis there. Oh, excuse me. What do you think? Do you think Portugal will be open in the summer? Okay, one word answer. Gentlemen, Joel, will Portugal be open in the summer?
Maybe.
Maybe. Eugene?
I was just going to ask the same question.
Okay, all right. Greg?
No.
No.
Yes, of course it will be. What are we on about? We will
Gary?
be open. It will be amazing.
Gary?
Hope.
Okay,
One
so
word, hope.
hope so. All right. And I would say yes.
I
Bravo.
seen a thing tonight.
What?
I seen a thing on the news here in Ireland where
What?
the health minister. There was a thing on the news tonight in Ireland where the health minister was talking about New Zealand declaring that they were keeping their borders closed for the whole of 2021. And the health minister was saying that it was highly unlikely that anyone from Ireland would be going on holidays internationally this year. And that's worrying for me because I was intending to go to Portugal for the first time this October. Nobody starts scouting about looking at different properties. So I'm really interested to see what you boys think. What's going to happen over there?
All right, we'll come back to that. We'll definitely come back to that. We've got half an hour to go.
We will come back to that.
We will cover that. Possibly, says the doc to Auntie, watch the figures. Yeah, I think yes. They're going to have to find a way. Otherwise, we are screwed. Andy, the Doc Thompson, glad to hear. My diet is solely plant-based after the change. After the change? Oh, I see. After the change, I lost 50 pounds and feeling much better. To hell with man. To hell with man meat eater. Okay, that's controversial talk, Kent, in here, but we may come back to that as well. We have fluoride here, and we're not afraid to use it in the water wherever Kaylee is. Everyone, send in limericks for Eugene to read. It will be epic. Yes. Okay, and the vegetarians are grouping and camping. Oh yeah, okay. Please, Eugene, how about the Irish Rover? Is it better than the Leyland?
Do the Irish Rover.
He wouldn't bring the stick back.
He's not doing it, is he?
Jesus, he's not playing with us today.
I tell you what, Eugene, if you can't come to Portugal this year, we will send you some Madronia. That's a great idea, Doug. More requests for Eugene. Sing Fields of Athenry, is that Eugene? Or a Jim Reeves classic?
You need to give me the lyrics.
Does you now?
You'll need to give me the lyrics.
Eugene does not look like a Madronia man. He looks like a
Fields of Athenry. Eugene, come on.
Lurking again. Oh, Doreen's here. She had to break ranks. She was there in the darkness, in the furthest fetid corners of the man cave, but couldn't resist. lurking again and finding your bromances as endearing as they are funny and salacious. Thank you. We're going to take that as a good review. Will there be a disco tonight? Yes, there will. Midnight. It's an indie disco. And I'll tell you, I can put you up or engage you at this point with a few of the artists who will be featured tonight. Among them, the Stone Roses, Joy Division, the Smiths, Simple Minds. Who else have we got there? Fratellis, The Cure, Susie and the Banshees, Depeche Mode. It's that kind of indie disco tonight, folks. All right. So stay tuned at midnight for that. Oh, you can sit down for it if you want, if that's the mood you're in, no problem. I have to ask again, but who
Munson, you got me oiled up. This is good. I like this.
Again, who was doing the heavy breathing? As we drink more, the heavy breathing becomes more apparent and uninhibited. So keep listening for that, Charles. And I can send you an MP3 excerpt if you want that for your listening pleasure at home. Whatever you say to Weinstein, we have to say to Prince Andrew.
Absolutely.
Allegedly. Every time you say absolutely, I'm going to keep saying allegedly because I would like to keep broadcasting. Disco at midnight.
I would like to get that MBE. Oh, sorry,
exactly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, thank you, Frank. Well done. We were watching, and at the same time, I am not making light of this. If he is found guilty, take him down to Chinatown. No protection for him if that is indeed what he's been up to, and it looks a lot like it. Allegedly, we were watching.
Allegedly. I love the word allegedly. This is
tonight. That's good timing. So, Gary, do you want to do your steptoe? Do you want to do both of them this time with your impersonations?
I can't do the one. I can't do the old guy.
Well, oh, Harold!
What do you want to do that for? That's the old man.
Oh my God! Look, I met Harvey Weinstein at a party about 5 years ago. Kent is a very interesting person. He was disgusting. He walked out of the lavatory with his wang hanging out, didn't wash up, grunted. Is that for real, Kent? I mean, we can believe that of him, can't we? He would expect somebody else to put it away for him. One of his assistants. And that puts the personal assistant, obviously. But is that a true story? Portugal, brace yourselves. Eugene is coming. Where's he gone? He's just disappeared now. Has he gone to get his hymn book or something like that, maybe? Ready, Eugene. There was once a man from Nantucket. That old classic. 7 drunken nights.
Charles is a rock star. I love Charles.
I would love to hear us all singing. Well, it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never again. Well, okay, and so on for 7 drunken nights. We can do that.
Nice.
Mary had a little lamb. She also had a duck. Oh no, but not do that one.
What kind of? And yet we can hear Eugene in our heads saying that, can't we?
Yeah.
What kind of Porto is best? All of it. Pretty much. Yeah, all of it. And oh gosh, we've got some catching up to do here, folks. I beg your pardon. This is my kind of music, indie disco. Kent, join us at midnight. Yay, says Kaylee. So it'll be my pleasure. He's back again, night, ladies. We need to find his pork loin and share that with you. Stuffed it was as well. Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched young free birds fly. Oh, I'm feeling my heartstrings being pulled already in the way that Irish music does it. Cool from Kaylee. Our love was on the wing. Oh, these are all the words of Athenry. Wow. Okay, here is my limerick. Oh dear. That was an ewe for Harvey Weinstein.
That is the Athenry.
It is too real, says Ken. Oh dear. Epstein suicided himself from Kaylee. Yeah. I don't think anyone would argue in this company about that, Kaylee. All right. So here is my limerick. This is probably Chris. Stop me if you've heard this one. There once was a woman from Brew who filled up her with glue. She said with a grin, if they pay to get in, they'll pay to get out of it too. I will be super pissed. This gets me banned. Not at all. It's all very contextual and not meant to offend or hurt anybody.
Very contextual.
I thought that was very good. Douglas, allegedly, my foot, allegedly. Our royal lied allegedly through those lovely Windsor ivories, allegedly. Yes, nicely put. So what time did this disco section It's been upgraded. It was an indie disco. Now it's disco sexy time. So that's midnight, just 24 minutes away. And will it be silky smooth? Are we talking about Gary's horn again, or are we talking about the Porto? Are we talking about what Frank is holding up? Is that silky smooth? Branco.
No, I'm actually telling you what I'm switching to. Now I'm switching to gin, the Vinho do Porto Branco, and we are doing the tonic water. So we're doing Porto Tonico.
Oh, beautiful. Cue heavy breathing. There was a young man.
Is that me?
No,
You're killing me, man. Seriously, I'm not doing the heavy breathing. It's you, pervert.
it was a young man from Devizes who had testicles of different sizes. The left one was
Thank you.
and nothing at all. The right one was big and won prizes. Pete, it's just so great that people can remember these things and just write them into the comments so lively and easy. How lovely. Thank you for that, Pete. What a treat. A treat from Pete there, and the link going back in for Eugene or anybody else who wants to join us for this last 20 minutes. What did we promise to cover and we haven't yet? And I don't mean it in the sense of stallions covering things. I mean, what topics did we not did we promise to talk about?
I think we've covered most of it.
But when is Portugal going to be open again, and how? See, so there's two parts to this. Will it be open in the summer, and how could it be? So
it's
Frank,
going to be open in the summer. This is one of the things that's going to happen. The EU is going to sue AstraZeneca for not being able to provide the vaccines that they are supposed to within the next 1 or 2 months, actually 3 months. We will be okay. I think we're looking to a wonderful summer. I'm looking to a wonderful summer with you, all of my other friends in Coimbra. This is going to be spectacular. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful summer with all of you folks.
All right. Oh, Garvo's cranking up his disco ball in readiness.
Oh, really? He is. Where is it? What's going on?
Joel, what do you think? How could Portugal be opened up by the summer, if at all?
Well, maybe I'm not seeing this being sorted before summer. Honestly, because I don't see the government doing what it should to take care of the vaccination program for the more weaker Portuguese.
Okay.
That is my honest opinion. So I'm not it may not look very optimistic, but to me, it's more the reality. Honestly, not so soon. And like I said previous times here on Mindcliff, I also am expecting that probably the economy will find another recession and maybe Troika will come again. Because things that are being run by the government are not very factual. They are not saying everything. They are covering up, and the way that this prime minister is acting exactly the same way as a former PS government did.
Okay. So yeah, well then probably not. Another limerick just in. We'll try and get Eugene to read this. There was a young woman of Ongar who was had in the surf by a conger. By her squirms and her squeal, you could tell that the eel was like her old man's only longer. Very good. I mean, that's really well written. That's really well written.
That is very well written.
A good limerick. Question in from Victoria. Have any of you guys met each other in person? We have on occasion, haven't we? Not as much as we'd like to, but we've been in the same room once, haven't we, Gary?
Yeah, we all met together in the good old Coimbra, didn't we? In the wine tasting effort, which was lovely. It was a lovely evening.
It was superb. Frank, I've seen you in Lisbon as well as that evening, haven't I? Is it just 3 times? Because you came to visit as well, didn't you? I think 3 times we've met up, and I feel very. Doreen used the word bromance. Definitely 3 dates, and I'm in. I'm committed to Frank for sure. Joel, we haven't met yet, but when we go up to Matosinhos, we will be drinking orangey water with him up there in Matosinhos and enjoying a Francesina. I think the pressure has become too much for Eugene. Victoria,
Are you liking the beans that you're eating?
Yeah. Is anyone else liking the beans that I'm eating? Is it noisy? I'll stop if that's the case.
No. It's that's not the thing. I want to know if you're liking the beans.
They tend to be quite dry, so the beer does help a lot.
It's because I know he's gonna have the runs tomorrow.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question about the beans?
Yes.
Yeah, when I've had them, obviously, they got like a little skin on them.
Yeah.
Are you supposed to pull the skin off, or are you supposed to eat the skin as well?
No,
Supposed to take the skin off.
What was that?
You eat
You
them
take
the
the skin off.
Yep. You go American.
You grab it by one hand, 2 fingers, and that part of the skin which is more protruded out, you would just use teeth and peel it and then squeeze it, so the most goes in.
Oh my God! I'm gonna excerpt that bit out, and I'm gonna make it a quiz on the Good Morning Portugal show next week. Here is the answer. What is the question? Something like Joel saying, you just pinch it. You pinch it where the bit of skin comes out, and give it.
Where the skin protrudes a little bit out, which means that where the fruit, the moss, you just use a teeth. You pull it out. I use it like that. I just use my teeth, pull it a little bit, that skin a little bit out, and then I squeeze in the middle.
Here, I'll give you a demonstration, right?
That bit.
Oh, did you see that?
Here's my question, Carl.
Well,
is this going to sit very well with you? Like, how's your constitution when you deal with the beans?
Rock solid, mate. Rock solid. Half Chinese.
And this guy's asking you about his constitution and his. Hey guys, right? Just before we got time, you just reminded me of something. If you're ever going to come here, right, the best time to come to Albayazra is October, middle of October, because we have a festival for the shishiro, which is a bean. I think it's a lupin bean. It's a 4-day festival, day and night, right? Music in the sports stadium down there, right? Drinking, you name it, it just goes on forever. It's complete madness.
All right, Garbo, since you've promoted Albayagra, I will promote Coimbra. There's also the Praça right behind me has a feirinha, or a festival of cebola. It's a onion festival that happens right behind me. And it's a full-on proper festival where apparently the festival has nothing to do with onions. It has a lot to do with meat. I don't know why. Vegans, stay away.
Okay, deal, Frank. I'll come and play with your onions if you'll come and play with my shishiro.
I will always do that for you.
Okay, since we are all promoting, then if you don't mind, Carl, I want to promote Festa de Matosinhos. Yeah, I don't know if they will do it this year or not, but if people want to eat sardines, that is the best season to do it, when it's festival.
Can you lead us through that? I would love to go over there, Joel. Can you lead us through that entire thing?
Matosinhos? Yeah, sure. Why not? Frituras, sardinhas, cerveja e vinho.
Don't mind these two assholes on the screen.
I don't know anything about it. Who was that American comedian? Who was the American comedian who used to do the drunk? Who used to do that? I can't remember his name, but it was really good. You know, he used to be interviewed, and it was like, "I'm telling you that I'm a sister." It's him. You to him.
It sounds like Les Patterson. He's that. You could be the British cultural attaché of Canada, behaving like that, Frank. Oh, this is fantastic. So thank you. We've got so far. We have the Anadia has a week-long kind of cultural festival. So all the Barada wines are there, all the cultural stuff and bands. Really great bands, loads of food to eat, and it goes on for a week, I think. And you buy a ticket and you wear an armband for the whole week. It's like going to Glastonbury, but it costs like.
There's also a beer festival here in Porto. That's the beer festival. Yeah, every year beer festival here in Porto.
And Charles, this is what your idea of communism buys people in Portugal. If you go to Glastonbury or some free market festival, you're going to be paying hundreds for your ticket. When you go to a festa like this in Portugal, the money taken in tax, I'm guessing, gets paid some of it into these amazing cultural events. The week-long festival I'm talking about, it costs 20 euros or something, and you can go every night for a whole week, or just go one night and you feel like you've had great value. So we've got.
It's more expensive than that. For the music festivals in Lisbon, even here in Matosinhos up north in Porto and so on, they tend to be for 3 days. They can go from 35 to 120, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and they're the kind of private free market ones, more leaning that way, aren't they? And they're a bit more expensive, but still, that's good value, isn't it? 35 euros at the bottom there.
Well, depends on the perspective and the income each and everyone has.
That is hilarious. So we've got the Anadia Festival, we've got the Matosinhos.
Garbo can't stop laughing.
We've got Alvagra Stadium. Where the what? How do you spell that kind of bean, Gary?
I can't spell it, but it took me ages to learn how to say it. It's Shishiro
bean, and then we finish in the Onion Festival, where this is the review or question about your one, Gary. 4 days and nights followed by 6 on the toilet. Sounds great, and then Frank, Pete, sake, Frank. I thought you said it was an Ebola festival. Thought we had enough with COVID. Fantastic. Oh, Pete, that made me cry. So when is the Onion Festival, Frank? Because Steve probably wants to plan his trip around that.
Oh, today when we were out and about with Donna Estrella, or Donna Superstar as I call her, she told us about it's happening in the summer. So there's a huge Cebola festival here, and this Cebola festival includes a lot of carne, a lot of doing churrasco. There's a lot of great things happening over here. There's a band. There's a lot of amazing stuff happening over here. Coimbra is a town to be in. I don't know. A lot of people, I know the Porto and Lisboa take a lot of the thing, and I've recently moved over here, but I really feel very at home in this town. This is a beautiful town. I think anyone who decides to come to Portugal, this is one of the best places, one of the first places you should be thinking about. It's just my opinion, but I love it.
I can live with that. Yeah, Central Portugal and his Chicharro festival there. And
Chicharro.
I can live with that. Food and drink, count me in. It's going to be great fun. But let's make it happen. That we need to be flipping open for summer.
Yeah, for example,
I think they're going to find a way. Are you familiar with the Boom Festival? Says Kaylee. Would love to go to that at some time. I feel I'm a bit too old for that one. Maybe the soup is awesome. Hey, Sogrita. Don't understand that, but happy to accept that comment. Coimbra is fantastic. Okay, I think we're up to date with the comments. I've got Owen's pork loin to show you. Joe, you wanted to say something there?
Yeah, for example, a Festa do Senhor Matosinhos was 700 years old and was cancelled last year. Just because
that's horrible.
I mean, that's been going on for a bit then, isn't it? That is a proper festival, 700 years, isn't it?
Not even the earthquake put them off. It's amazing, isn't it? But the COVID did. Right, I've got to show you the pork loin because I promised it. This is what Owen gets up to, right? There's his ingredients for this stuffed pork loin he was doing today. Worthy of mention, I thought, tonight in the man cave. We are seeing some cebola in there, aren't we? And chopped up red onions, and nice presentation as well. Nice pestle and mortar action. Then he begins
Very
to
good job.
look at that, wrap that pork loin, stuffing in there, wrapped in the foil, and out it comes. Not unlike a haggis, possibly. And there it is, served cross sections of that with a nice a bowl full of rice and some kale or something like that, or yeah, kale possibly on the side there. I bet that was lovely. Nice one, Owen. Oh, there he is with that's him standing next to Nick Griffin, talking a fascist earlier on. So yeah, that was something he sent me before. So
very proud of Owen.
That was a good job, wasn't it? Okay, just
Very
check.
good job.
Apparently, the Festa de Cebolas happens sometime in August. So there you go, summertime. Thanks, Rachel, for that. She's looking forward to it, obviously, as well. Frank's better half there. Frank, it makes me happy to hear you have found your home. I think that's from Chris. It does to all of us. Frank, we're so glad that you're warm again, that you found your niche there. And I'm so looking forward to you getting to know all those gnarly locals, sort of the real characters of downtown Coimbra, and hanging out with them with you. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
I've gotten to know them. There are a lot of amazing. When you come to small town Portugal, it's so different from coming into the big town. So it's special. It's beautiful. We already have a lot of friends over here in the outskirts. But the thing is, it's a beautiful, beautiful town. I think one of the first places anyone who wants to come to Portugal should be considering is Coimbra.
Base camp.
Don't you think, Carl?
I do. Base camp for central Portugal, easy to get north, easy to get south. Yeah, put your virtual tent there and tour until you find your forever home in Portugal. And that is not an easy process, because you will keep going to places and saying, this is it. And you'll find another one the next day, and another one the day after that, and on it goes. And you eventually think, oh, I'm just going to have to decide. But it's a tortuous but beautiful process. Looking forward to being in Coimbra in September. Says Steve. I think going to be a little bit late there'll be onion skins left on the ground. Go on, Frank.
The one thing that I'm really looking forward to is all of us doing a show together in the same place, and all of us hanging out together once all this is done. And this is going to be done very soon. I know I'm sounding a bit too positive here. I think this nonsense is going to be done very, very soon. I think we've hit the heights of it.
Yeah.
I know it's terrible what's going on right now, but we've hit the heights of it. I think this gets better from here. We will all be very, very normal within the next few months, and these shows will remind us of the kind of situation we went through. It's going to be beautiful.
Yes, that we used to talk like who's the actor in is it Trevor Howard on Brief Encounter? We're having conversations like that, aren't we? One day when all this is over, we'll get together and we'll be together in person, and we'll drink Portuguese beer and eat tremossos together. It'll be splendid when all this craziness has passed. And this is a reference to that. So when are you going to do a field trip video? Run it with no sound and narrate it live in the man cave. Sounds good to me. In fact, if anyone wants to send in any random videos, we'll narrate them in the man cave as a bit of practice. But yeah, I mean, be careful what videos you do send us. Victoria Benson, Eugene is in bed. Is Douglas? Douglas's guess about Eugene. He did try unsuccessfully to join us, but he was impotent in his efforts tonight. Mario having a little peek at what's going on in the man cave.
Nice one, Carl.
Mario Monteiro. Hell yeah, Frank. Charles is up for that. What you're just saying there, Frank. I'm with you as well, mate. And it's tourism season. I think they're going to have to come to some sort of compromise or put it back on the people. Look, you want to be open, you can be open on these conditions. We can't go on like this. A show together with an audience, make it a fundraiser for a local charity. Boom, have some of that. Can I come, please, Frank? Douglas, it's a given, mate, that you're with us. All
Yes.
man cavemen, absolutely welcome here. And evening, guys. I'm late in time for the disco, though, in 4 minutes. Closing comments, about a minute each, gentlemen. Joel, starting with you.
I don't have much to say, so I yield my time.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. You've been amazing as usual, Joel. We love you, man. It's so good of you to join us on a Friday night as our
Always a pleasure.
BFF. Yeah, it's great to have you here with your special, Portuguese view, but your Joel view of life as well. Really appreciate it, Gary.
I love it. I really, really love it that we've, through these troubled times, we've been able to band together as a bunch of friends with very different viewpoints, and we use this crazy place that where I inhabit as our focal point. And one day, and as Frank said, right, we will be in here together. We will be drinking whatever we choose. We will be playing a game of darts. We'll be having a game of pool. There's a kitchen out the back there, which Owen or Frank could use. There's a barbecue out on the patio. We are going to have such a good time, guys. We are going to have such a great time. So focus on that.
Well said, sir. Well said. Frank, final comments from you, sir.
It is all about positivity. It's all about us working together and being together. I believe what we need to do during this entire time is just stay connected. If someone feels down, if someone feels that they're not up to it, there's something going on, just stay connected.
Yeah.
We're all here and just talk to each other. I think this is the biggest message we can send to each other during these horrible times. These horrible times will not continue. 2-3 months, we are going to do very, very well. All I want to say is I'm available if you ever want to talk to me. We will take care of it.
Oh, bless you, man. That's really wonderful. Cheers, Frank. Thank you for that.
Wise words, Frank. Thank you.
Yeah, and just like that, it will be over. This too shall pass. Absolutely. I am with you, my brummy pal. I think that's Doug talking to the doc there. You're right, Frank, says Philomena. One with the universe, one with the great social reset. We're with the universe on this, Charles, and I know you are too. Just take a look at how you've changed your politics since you've been hanging out here and gone to the socialist dark side. Omar Jaff is here. I bought tickets to Lisbon for March the 1st month ago. Don't think, I'm sorry to hear that, Omar. You never know. Keep that Portuguese pilot light lit, my friend. No, you haven't missed it. Oh, you've missed this bit. Oh, man, I missed it. I had to do the grocery shopping for the old folks. And you were on a special mission there. So excellent. Well done, you and your community. But it is the Indie Disco next. You need to go to this link here. When we close this transmission, because we can't play copyright music on this platform. I would stay here and do it, but I can't because we would get banned. We are over on mixcloud.com/barefoot radio. And I will send you a link to be a dancer if you want to. So you can listen to it on that link that's in the comments there, or you can have a special link, which I'll put in, which just sounds like a dodgy DJ, isn't it? I'm going to send you a special link. And DJs have got such a bad reputation, haven't they?
Not off, mate.
Not off, right? If you want to be a special mate, I will link. That's for the dancers on the screen. So if you want to be in this environment, dancing on the screen to the music, in the VIP area, I'll send you a link for that. But you can listen to it on the link I've put down there anyway. Kent, about international schools in central Portugal. I think there is one in Coimbra, but let's talk about that on the forum, or just PM me, my friend. Sogrita from Mario Monteiro. What does that mean, Joe? What is Sogrita?
Sogrita is mother-in-law, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought it was. I heard that today.
It's a more pleasant way to say mother-in-law in Portuguese. There is sogra, which is the regular base. For mother-in-law, there is the old hair, and there is Sogrita.
All right. Mario might be talking to a mother-in-law in here, possibly Philomena. I don't know. Sogrita, so that sounds lovely. Positive thoughts then. See you all in the summer from Charles. Yeah, mate, absolutely.
Yes, please, Charles.
Good night. Well, have a great weekend. Bye from Finland. Suomi. Great to have your company from Finland, Auntie. See you again next Friday. And saying Philomena, love the morning show. We hopefully will have Philomena Friday, one at least a month. It's such good fun, Philomena. Absolutely agree with you.
And how does the jingle go, guys? Come on, how does it go all together now?
Philomena Friday. She's got her own jingle. She's got everything going on. Mario is my son-in-law. He is kidding me. So great out there. Carl, could you post the link in the FB chat Two, yeah, absolutely. I'll put both links for the just listening to the sound or for dancing on the screen. We'll do that. Give me a few minutes to do that. I'm a few beers in and I'm a bit bloated on Tremoso, so I'll need a little bit of extra time for that. You've been amazing. See you on the dance floor in a bit, or see you next week at 10 o'clock.
Have a nice weekend, guys.
Ciao, ciao. Buon fine settimana. Ciao,
Buon
ciao.
fine settimana.